Let's turn the phones around. It's the camera. Let's turn the phones around because today we're gonna talk about something I know a lot of you in here could use on a daily basis for sure. And I mean, should we put on focus mode? Should get focus mode, right? Let's get focus mode on. I can see your beautiful faces, so please have the camera on. I see you. You don't see each other. So you got one focus called laser hippie vision, right? You get it? Hippie vision? No? I thought it was funny. Jokes. All right, people. Did you see I'm a little bit sick, so I won't be as energized as normally, but I'm happy. I'm very happy. I'm feeling good in bad moods. Can you say that? Yeah, I can. I feel good, even though I have a cold. So the thing is, people, I have noticed some things when it comes to my own insecurities, right? Because I have them. I have a lot of them. Oh my God. Yesterday, me and Levi was at the beach. We went to the sunset like every day. Every day at 6 at night when you sleep, we go to the sunset and we sit there and we watch the beautiful sunset and for 30 minutes. And then when the ball drops is when the sun goes down and you can't see it no more. It gets dark in like 5 minutes, you know. So then we normally walk away from there. And today was yesterday was the first time we actually sat there, even though after the dark, because we've met some Israeli people, and it was one girl and one guy, and we sat and talked to them, and then it came more people, and then more people, and then more people, and we're like 7 people in the group later on, and it was Israeli people and me and Levi, and it was everyone from people selling like brownies or sandwiches on the beach to one guy who was a trader. And it was funny because we're sitting there and he's Israeli, you know, and we start to talk and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, no, I don't work. You know, it's like, hey, but what do you do? I'm like, nah, you know, nothing. He's like, okay. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a trader. And I say, oh, yeah, me too. And he's like, but you didn't do anything. And it's like, no, but I don't like saying it, you know, because here, and then I just got into me, right? Kimmy, you have all this beautiful Costa Rica, right? Why don't you plant your seeds here? Meaning the business, no, chill out. Meaning the business, right? Why don't you build your business here? And I always said to myself, I mean, then it kills my vibe of Costa Rica. And why is that? Because I go up 4:50 or 5 in the morning here, right? When that's like 12 or 1 your time, Sweden and Germany time. And then I work super hard in calls and doing all the things we do until 4 p.m., which is your midnight. My 4 p.m. is your midnight. So after 4 p.m. is my 2 or 3 hours alone time until I go to bed. Then I have I have my sunset, I have 2 or 3 hours of darkness, and then I go to bed at around 9, 10, right? But what happens if I build a business when people actually quit their job at 4 p.m.? Meaning that then my Costa Rican workday starts at around 4 p.m. until maybe 11 or 12. Meaning now that I have to work from 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning until 11 in the night. That's a lot of hours, right? And then I asked myself, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? What is this of kind of ideas that you're building up in your head? Like working those, have I ever worked for straight 8 hours? I don't know. I don't think I have. It's like these words coming up in my mind, like, no, I can't work for 12 hours. I'm like, I've never worked for 12 hours. Who am I? You know? I have never been, 8 hours constantly, okay, that happened maybe a few times when it's really big grind, right? I've been in calls 12 hours straight as well, but that's been crazy times. It doesn't happen every day, does it? I mean, you guys are building the same business, many of you. And I said to myself, why do these ideas or concepts come up in my head, which I know is not true? The same ideas and concepts that come up in our head when people say, I don't have time. And you're like, but everybody got time. Everybody got those 24 hours. And then it comes up to insecurities. It comes to insecurities and your comfort zone, what we feel. Because, for example, think about it like this. When you put your mind into eating sushi or eating pizza, whatever it is, right? Your mind is stuck on that now. And you're calling up to every single sushi restaurant in town. And all of them says, it's closed. And you're like, fuck, why just today? It was just today. I wanted sushi today. And it was just today I wanted sushi. When you put your mind into it, all the other food that you now can't eat that you normally like is not as delicious. You know what I mean? I think you all have been there in some kind of situations. When you put your mind into, I want to buy this phone today. And if you get it tomorrow, it's not as exciting. Like today is the day that you're gonna have that shit, you know? You like for me, if I say like, yeah, computer screens, I don't know. I'm obsessed about when I get an idea into my head. I have a computer screen everywhere. At my sister's, I have like 227, I don't know, inches or whatever it's called, right? 227s, right? And when I got to my mom, I was there for 24 hours and I went into Marketplace and I bought 2 other screens. Now I have 2 screens at my mother's place. And now I have a portable screen and this screen and that screen. And it was like, fuck, I don't even use these screens. You know what I mean? But that's my kick. And then I said to myself, why is these thoughts coming up? And it always come back to one simple thing. Our insecurity about not accepting what we have. And when it comes into the business, for me in Costa Rica, I said to myself yesterday, but this is all I ever wanted, a business worldwide. But I limit myself to follow my dream because of what? Because my mind tells me, no, Kimi, you're going to work too much. I'm probably the most effective and lazy worker you've ever met. Like I work hard, but not hard as in sweating, you know? And yes, it comes back, and I will come to that subconscious mind thing in a second, right? But it's about, so look at this. When we tend to look at relationship, when we tend to look at business, we limit ourselves for what you can do with your partner. You can surprise your partner or bring your partner to something very interesting. It's just a matter of you going outside of that zone, which is normalized for you. For me, the normalized hours is now normalized. Meaning that if I have to overwork that, I say to myself that I'm going to work all of those hours, but that's not the case. The case is to work with one person for a period of time, build that person up, and then you have a steady business and a passive business. So I know that, and to reach my goal, I know what I have to do. Why do my brain tell me not to do it? Comes to insecurities of what we are capable of. We limit ourselves for what we're capable of when it comes to relationship as well, when it comes to your home, when it comes to your business, when it comes to your school, when it comes to your sex life, when it comes to everything, we limit ourselves because of the boundaries we already set around us. You remember the call that I spoke about environment, and I spoke about environment is kind of controlling our areas of our life because we put those boundaries up ourselves. Now, if we twist that a little bit and we bend that into, for example, business. People ask me, what is this secret to success or the key to success? There is no, you know, and that's obvious. There is no really key to success. It's just do what works and do it more and do it more effective and keep on doing that and keep on expanding. That's just simple. And then you can go into details, but in general, that's the case. That's the case, right? Creativity, first and foremost. But now, when it comes to bending your business and your limitations, what is Grant Cardone speaking about? 10x. You think that you can 2x your business, meaning that you can double your business in a year, but he thinks that you can 10x your business every single month, right? So what he's talking about is that you're limiting yourself to think so small, meaning that you're putting those edges and those boundaries on yourself. The same when it comes to sports, yoga, muscles, whatever it is, you can literally take heavier weight if just somebody has their fingers underneath your hand, not pushing, but underneath, like you think they are pushing, you think it's coming. So you're like, oh yeah, now it's working, but nobody touch your fucking hand. It's all in your mind. Your mind has a way of bending and keeping your limitations. Same thing with ejaculation, coming when you're having sex. It's a mind trick. It's a mind thing. There is people that can literally sit completely still, meditate, and ejaculate. Now, I mean, come, a man ejaculates without a boner. That's kind of fucked up, isn't it? You know, I'm like, how is that even working? You know, it's because your mind is producing an orgasm mentally and giving that shock out to your, not your, because the only thing that is a boner is only blood, right? The sperm doesn't have blood, right? So it comes from another pipe. so it's, I don't think I can. It's, or I maybe could train it, but it's, I don't know why I would too. But anyways, funny game, right? So what I'm trying to say to you here with this ejaculation point is that our mind is tangible and we can control every single area of our life because of the mind. If we tend to not fight the mind, because when we fight the mind in every area, when we try to fight, like I'm not gonna, you know, fight the mind, fight the thoughts, it's like telling the thought that it can win, telling your monkey mind that it can win. That's what you're saying. If you fight your mind, but if you reflect over the thought, you accept the thought, and you then let go of it, you can now control the thoughts. Did you understand what I said? For example, today we're going to speak about failures. This was just an introduction that you now understand that the mind is tangible. The mind is really controllable. You can control every area of your mind. Now, when it comes into failures, let's take everything that many of us has been through, right? And the heart breakup, any kind of breakup, right? Breaks your heart, you become sad. And every time we come into this sad role of our life, we tend to come into a space where we beat ourselves apart. We beat us so much. We think about everything that you could have done, everything that could have been better, everything that could have changed. What if we didn't? Or what if that didn't happen? Or what happened if I wouldn't, you know? Type in number 5 in the chat if you've been through those thoughts. No matter if it's in school, sounds like a whale. And through school, if it's, you know, through relationship, if it's through trading. What if I close that trade? You know, we all been there every single day. About the Ross, this cool. About the Ross, huh? Blood clot. So the cool part about this is when it comes to failure, we all know the saying, failures doesn't exist, first attempt in learning, but failures do freaking exist. And failure is just something that is very, our perspective of failure has changed. And what I mean about that is we look at failure as a fail. You failed something, you let something down, you didn't succeed in that area which you want to succeed. Now, I want us to go back into the self-immaterial kind of kid that you were when you were a kid. Or even if we look at an animal, even easier. Let's take an animal. An animal that sees food inside of a glass bottle, okay? That animal doesn't have the receptors in their brain tells them that they have failed. So they will try to get into that glass bottle as long as it takes them. until they understand that, I don't get in. And then it will sit and they will look at the food until something else pops up and their focus change. They don't look at it and say, fail. They will sit there. If that's the only food in that room, in that glass bottle, they will sit and they will look at that glass bottle and then try again, try again, try again, try again, try again. But they will be around and looking at that food until something else comes up. Their focus is at what they see. You remember the input and output? See food, eat food. We talked about it last week. So, and a hamster has very short input output. You know, they have an input and an output, right? And they see food, eat food, but their stomach can't eat so much. So a hamster puts it in the cheeks, you know, and they save it there, and then they can eat more because they don't fill, but they fill their stomach. That's what it's just so fat. But they eat all the time. So see food, eat food. We also, but we have a further distance from our input and our output, right? And I'm not talking about the conscious to the subconscious. I'm talking about an input, which is on the front side or the right side of the lobe, and something on the left side, back side, okay? What this signifies is that we can control our areas. If the glass bottle is there, we can control to make a thing out of it. We can think about it, or we can look at it. We can say, I can't get in there. We can look at it. Definitely not, Dada. So we can look at it and we can say, I can't get in there. Even from before, even just by looking at it, we look at the glass bottle and we say, we can't get in there. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? An animal will try to get into that glass bottle until they don't have more energy, until they see something else, until their focus changed. But a human can look at it, limit our belief immediately, and say, we can't get in there. I don't know if it is intellect, or I don't know what intellect means, but if you mean intelligence, I wouldn't really say intelligence, you know? But what I mean is that the human brain, listen to this, because you will crack the code if you understand it. The human brain limits before we try because we're too smart for our own good. We limit ourselves before we even try. You know, because we think we're too smart to know everything about your capacity and your capability. So we don't even try. So we're too smart for our own good. And just to make sure, I wouldn't be able to say those all 4 sentences if I would be in high, because when I'm high, I don't speak. You know, that's just it. I completely dislocate. That's why I can't smoke weed on weeks. I just can't. I don't function. I don't go around. I'm not focused. So you shouldn't do it either. If you smoke 1 time, 2 times with a friend, cool. Relax. Do whatever you want. If you feel like it, do it. But don't smoke every day, because it will fuck your vibration up. Trust me. So do you see how this now, if you take this part about that limiting belief level and look on it as failure, and now compare this to all the other people, all the motivational speakers you hear speaking about failures. Just look on failures from another perspective one time, and we go back and we say, a failure actually doesn't exist if it's not made up in my mind. Meaning that the only time I can fail on it is for me to limit my belief before I even try. The only way to fail is to limit myself before I even try. That's the way we fail. Do you get my point here? So when you say, let's start FTMO, let's start an FTMO account, right? And you're like, I'm scared of failing. That's the part where you're limiting your belief level. First and foremost, you attract that failure. You attract yourself to make mistakes because you're speaking that into existence. The second part you do is that you're always confronting your quest, your mission, you're confronting that mission with a mentality of a setback. So when we look at something, we should always look at it from a standpoint of success. And I will explain what I mean. If you look at, for example, you going and doing an FTMO account, you may say to yourself that I don't have enough knowledge. Cool, I get that point. But if you say I will fail, there is no way of failing an FTMO. There is no way of failing an FTMO. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about right now, Kimmy? Of course, you can fail the challenge. Yeah, you can lose the challenge, but you won't fail. Because fail, you will always keep on taking a new FTMO until you succeed. And to fail an FTMO, you need to keep on doing wrong for a period of time. Because if you're risking 1%, it will go fast. But if you're insecure, you can keep on trying, but with less risk. Meaning now that the whole standpoint of you going into FTMO without as much knowledge as normally, or as you want to, you are now putting a responsibility on yourself, which I can promise you, you will learn much faster. Because when your level of curiosity gets increased, your level of curiosity gets increased. When your level of curiosity gets increased, your level of creativity gets increased. Do you understand this? Meaning that we limit our mind to take action. I know so many people who dropped off I Am Mastery Academy. They dropped off I Am Mastery Academy because they didn't, there wasn't action in them, you know? They didn't jump on the cake straight away. I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to love life, when it comes to business, when it comes to relationship, people, or opportunities, they have one thing in common, and that is ignorance on fire is more powerful than knowledge on ice. Ignorance on fire is more powerful than knowledge on ice. Did you get it? Ignorance on fire is more powerful than knowledge on ice. Meaning that even if we don't maybe know everything about this person, to be curious enough, to be creative enough to learn more about that person. Or in your business, even if you don't know how the taxes work, to have some ignorance on fire, to just do something in that line of tax will get you further than if you have the knowledge and you have them on ice, have them on pause. Do you get my point? Cool. I feel like this is so connected to when people depend on sentimental analysis when they trade and they fail because of it. Correct. It's the same thing. It's the same thing, you know. So when it comes to, and this is why I need you to help me help you. When it comes to reflect, everything that I say, even though we speak about sex, give me one subject that I've been speaking about when it comes to something very random. And trust me, I can connect that into trading or business. That's just how it is. It's all the same numbers. And when I speak about numbers, I don't want to sound crazy, but it's the same fucking matrix. That's just how it is. It's all vibrations when it comes to business, people, or trading. It's all the same. We just have to remember. We just have to remember everything about it. So when it comes to what we speak about now, when it comes to, so let's do this. Everybody knows this, right? Check this out. Anybody felt in love And when you're so excited, you wake up and you're like texting that person, you look and see if you got a message, you go in and you're searching for that person to see the stories, to watch them, you know, you're thinking every time you walk past their road, whatever, you're like looking kind of cool in, you know, and when you're that, you know, in the game, when you're like, your mother is talking to you and you're like, huh? Completely in another space, you know? I was that when I met Malu. And I remember I even forgot placing stop losses, you know, I forgot even trading, you know, I was like, when she sent the voice message, I was like, stop the call, you know, I was like, listening directly, right? And I think that's, and I think that's the same thing when it comes to the business. The first time you get into the business, you get your first business partner, you're like, bro, I'm gonna be champion 750. Let's go. And you're calling everybody up. You're posting all this crazy shit on Facebook and then on Instagram, and you're just calling everybody up saying completely wrong stuff, you know. And you're like over exaggerating when you're typing to this person, and she's like, what is going on? In, you know, it's the same thing when it comes to love and business. But now it comes to the failure part. You can exaggerate when it comes to a person. Meaning that if you try too much, the other person becomes overwhelmed. In business, if you try too much, your business gets overwhelmed. And because it's a people's business, they also get overwhelmed. And that means that we don't get any further. How can we change our perspective of failure? And how can we now change that perspective? And that's everything when it comes to this quote. And I will get it to you in a second. But look at it from this way. Failure doesn't exist if we don't limit our belief level when it comes to what we're capable of. Now, it's connected to creativity. How creative can you be when it comes to changing your perspective, when it comes to changing your standpoint? And now I'm meaning curiosity is the cure to everything. To your failures, this phone is going nuts. To your failure, to your love life, to your business, to your trading. That being curious will be the cure to everything. What is this guy talking about? If you are curious, imagine this. We all have this friend or that, you know, that always texts the same thing, always says the same thing, you know? And if, for example, I'm in relationship, let's just take this for an example. Me and Malu, we didn't say every single day, I love you. 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 Because it becomes too much, you know? When you say too much, it doesn't have value no more. You know what I mean? Type number one in the chat if you understand this. If you say the same thing, it becomes a thing to say instead of the meaning behind the sentence. So we lose the credibility of the word, I love you, or älskar dig, or whatever it is, right? So we lose the credibility of the word. That curiosity, because that's the first thing, somebody will become tired of you. They will start to be irritated on you. They will be annoyed by you. In your business, as a leader, as a business partner, as a love partner, it's about your words, your habits and your words. The way you speak, the words, the jokes, the sentences is the first thing their subconscious mind will get annoyed on. That will then lead to physical habits, like how you brush your teeth, or how you, I don't know, put your keys, or how you drive the car, or whatever it is, whatever habit it is. I know some of you know what I speak about when you get easy annoyed by somebody, and you're like, then you're irritated in every single thing they do. You know, you're like, oh my God, about everything. How they put their keys there, or how they brush their hair, or whatever it is. You're like, fuck, why do you need to cut the cucumber like that? You know, you're like, ah. And that comes down to people are monotone. And this is about failure. I will tell you, people are monotone. I don't even know if it's an English word. I think I just made that up. monotone. I think did I made it up? No, monotone. Anyways, monotone in Swedish means that you're one-sided, you know, you're doing one thing, you're going on a repeat, you're going on a linear path of everything you do, you're just walking on habits, you know. Like what I say, when you have your thumb inside of your hand instead of on the side of the hand, you have it inside of your hand. It's just you're walking on one program. You're walking in one program and you're just doing that. When somebody sees you or is within your program, they get easily irritated on that if they don't have the same program. So being curious will help you in your business about how to diversify your calls, how to change the subject, but speak about the same thing, how to get people's focus in another way. I speak a lot, but it's many times I repeat quotes and sentences because I want people to remember them, because there's a point behind them. But everybody in my team, and also you, how many times have you been on a personal development call that is the exact same as another one? Or just like, oh, it's just the same, I already heard this. And be honest, like it doesn't happen often. Like I can go into the same subject, but I diversify and we go into different areas of that subject. We postpone, we put it forward a bit. So when it comes to those times, it's all about creativity because a subject is so important. You can diversify, but I hear speakers, I hear partners that has the same routines and the same things every single time. That is a kind of failure because you're limiting your mind to be programmed, to just follow one set of program instead of diversify your mind into different areas. When the mind becomes bored, what happens? Tell me. I said it in the last call. What happens when the mind doesn't experience creativity? What happens when the mind is bored? When the mind doesn't train our creativity, what happens then? We feel stuck. And what happens when the mind feels stuck? We do not release as much dopamine and serotonin and endorphins. What happens then is that we start to create anxiety and depression. Do you see how all this is connected to failures? If they would just teach us that in school, you know, that we create some kind of anxiety and depression based on our limited belief level of what we can change and what we can do and cannot do. We limit our action. Based on what we think we're capable of. This causing us to be stagnant in habits and in a programming, which then cause our mind to be bored. It will cause you to be more attracted to drama, negativity, gossip, hate. That causes you to now train your mind on negativity, on gossip, on other people's relationships. And you start to feed your mind with that kind of negativity. You're trying to feed your fucking mind with that negativity, dude. So what happens is that you get stuck. And then when you hit a bump on the road, when your girlfriend or boyfriend breaks up with you, all that drama, all that training of all that negativity that your mind has been trying to do something creative with explodes. And now you become heartbreak. Now you become depressed. Now you go into the wall. Now you break apart and now you put your pillow above your head and now you're gone, you know. Oh, my life is all completely over. Ah. And you just need so much people to be there with you. And it's good. Support from people is good. But do you know what's even worse? Is when you ask for support or help, or you need a friend, and that friend comes to you and pets you on your cheek, just like this, and like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's so sad for you. That's not what the brain needs. That's completely unlogical. The brain, when it's sad, do not need to be even more understood. It's sad. It doesn't add up. You're pushing and pushing the negative extract of our emotions. Do you understand my topic here? I am not pushing any fingers on depression or people that have anxiety. I do have it sometimes as well. It's a work in progress, right? I am not saying it doesn't exist. It does exist. I'm just telling you that if we knew these things before a depression, we would be able to look at depression in a different way. We would be looking at anxiety from a different standpoint. We would see failures from a different standpoint. What can we do if we're in a depression? Type of number one if you know somebody who's in a depression or very sad and just in general very negative. What you can do is to help them break a pattern. Because a depression is also a recorded program in our mind that is based on some kind of failure or trauma. If you really think about it, every single depression, every single sadness really comes from some kind of wannabe failure. And when I say wannabe failure, I mean some kind of made up failure. What your parents think about you, what your parents want you to be, the levels and the parameters that your parents put you to, right? What your friends look like and maybe you don't look like. We put this depression upon ourselves, and if we think about it, every single sadness, or maybe not sadness, but every single depression and anxiety comes from some kind of limiting, either belief level, capability level, or acceptance level. Because if somebody left you, and I'm gonna speak, I mean, when they leave the earth or whatever, that's just a part of acceptance. Grief is one part, but it's also a part of acceptance. So it all comes down to how we limit either our belief level, our acceptance, and also our judgmental side, how you're judging either yourself, and judging could be jealousy, could be despise, or whatever it's called. Do you see where I'm going here? For example, I've put myself into failures so damn many times because I see how much my friends are making in trading. I see people making 5, 6, 7, 8, 12K a day. And I'm sad when I get 1K a day. So I push it to 2K and I fuck up that 1K. You get me? Maybe it's the same. It's all the same. You just have to remember. It's all the same when it comes down to it, you know? I'm judging. That could be their best day this week. They could fail 5 days. But I take their peak and I judge myself and my results upon that. Now I create a failure in my mind, causing me to take action upon that with negative action, which happens now that I am pushing myself backwards, causing me to think, I would have closed. Why did I do that? I should have stopped. I should have done. Fuck. You remember what I've said to you in the start? I could have, I would have, I want to, you know? It's the same, baby. It's the same. You know? Do you get my point here, or is it too complicated? Because I don't wanna motivate you on every single call, like, yeah, the world is awesome, the world is perfect, it's all love. It is all love, right? It's fucking unconditional love, but trust me, the world is fucked up. It's corrupt. People will hurt you. You will probably die alone. You get born alone. It's all this beautiful negativity, right? But the darkness could be as beautiful as the light, right? Because from the darkest of time comes the greatest of magic. And yes, Nikki, my man, it all depends on our perspective. Because of this that happened to me, I can't do this. Or because of that happened to me, I am going to make this happen. It's all just a mindset of our perspective. Now, I will take the last 14 minutes and I will take questions. So if you have any questions about a certain topic or whatever, I want to go through that. I'm going to go in the chat because I haven't been watching it. Got it. Nice. Fake goals in our mind. We put limit. We don't need to reach. True. Okay, people. So put me on questions here, guys. How to make ignorant people understand your perspective? You kind of answered it yourself, you know. Ignorant people, why would you care about them understanding your perspective? It's like ignorant people is ignorant because of a reason, because they limit their mind. And an ignorant person will never listen to an optimistic person. And this is a cool part. My mind is kind of ignorant. And she never listened to the optimistical Kimmy. But she listens to the ignorant Kimmy. So what I always do is, you know what, mama? I don't give a fuck if you watch this video, but if I would you, I would too. And then I just send her the link and I just wait. I don't tell her, Mom, if you would watch this video, you're going to feel so much better. Because an ignorant person don't want to hear that. An ignorant person would rather to have like, okay, I'm going to prove you wrong. You know? So play their game. Play their game. You can say like, that Kimmy guy, he's so weird. I don't know, dude. You should just listen to him. He's kind of fucked up. What do you mean? I can't put it out right. Just jump on a call and you will hear he's fucked up. Just be negative in a good way, right? And get an ignorant person to jump on a call, and then it will start understanding themselves, because they can only understand if it comes from themselves. Oh, wow. Questions. Wow. All right. Chill out. I'm going to take I'm not going to take everything. You've ever heard about negative visualization? Yes, that's like the world we live in. Why is addiction such a hard thing? Oh, that's a topic that I want to speak about. Addiction is a cool thing. It's a really cool thing. Wow, I love this one. Why are some people more productive when they're negative? Woo. I love that one. It's so dope because it fits me so good, you know? When I get angry, I get so productive. When I get pushed to the edge, I get so productive, so motivated, and so energized, right? And I think it has to do with our children programming from when we were kids. How we tend to, there is some people that always was studying long before the tests, and there were some people that studied the day before the test. Do you know what I mean? The people who studied long before the test, so they're done in time, they get more energized when they have time, because then they can focus. But a lazy person or somebody who postpone it until the day before the event or before the test, like me, I don't prepare anything until like 5 minutes before, and then I have stress, and then I get super productive, super creative, super energized, and then I use that energy to go on in a call or do the test or whatever it is, right? It's a programming since we're kids about how effective you are when it comes to time limits or pressure points or not. Because when a person who normally takes time before the test, when that person don't have time, they give up. They give up. They say, no, I don't have enough time. I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. So I think it's a programming from since we're kids, and just understand where you are, but negative. I wouldn't say you get more productive when you're negative. If you're not very corresponding, I don't know. But definitely angry or pushed to some kind of edge, right? The vaccine, I don't speak about my opinions about the vaccine or anything. I think everybody has their title to do whatever they want. Can you share your wisdom about addictions? Yes, let's do that next week. How is the best way to quit? Can we have the record of this call? Yes, Leah will send out the recording in the chat later. I try to get more positivity from, but sometimes I get back in my back in my bad negative habits. How can I change it permanently? Remove your habits. Guys, this is what I speak about when I tell you to change everything. Remove your habits. If you have a habit smoking weed, remove the option of that weed. Remove the weed from your home. Like I don't like having weed in my house if I'm not gonna smoke it. Simple as that, you know. If I have weed, I'm gonna smoke it, so I don't buy it. You know, I don't get it. I don't want it. I keep it away from me until I feel it's a time this month or next week or whatever it is to actually enjoy myself. So remove those habits permanently. Remove those habits permanently by removing the way you can get in touch with that habit. Wow, this is so good questions, right? Why does everybody thinking you're weird when you talk about spiritual things? Because it's new. It's outside of our normal zone. And that's how it works, guys. Everything that is different is, why do you think everybody thinks you're doing a fucking pyramid scheme? It's one of those pyramid schemes. Because they're not educated. They don't know what they're talking about. They go of a sense, they react upon their emotions. They react upon their negative side. What fan heter det? When you're observant, what is it called? When you're observant and you're fuck it. Anyways, it's the same thing. If you start to speak about, listen, I meet people down here that comes to me and they're like going all over the world. They tell me that they are from Mars. They tell me, you know, they were a fairy in their life before. They tell me that they see people when they're obsessed by demons, and they are doing all kinds of, you know, spiritual work, whatever, you know. And sometimes it's too much. Sometimes people are like, oh, that guy's weird. And I think to myself every single time that this is a normal reaction that is weird, but what is the word weird? What is weird? Weird is just something you're not familiar with. That's why I speak about spirituality in a way you all understand it. I could speak about the same things as how I learned it, which is in metaphors and in words and in ways which is undescribable. But what I try to do is just take that mindset from a yogic lifestyle, for example, and I just put it into what we know: drugs, sex, and money. Those three things people know about. I just take that mentality and I put it above those three categories for you to see how it's all the same in the deep end. Was that an answer to your question? I hope so. I'm gonna keep on forward. Would you rather take the time to answer to hateful people or just walk away? Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It's the same thing here. If you keep giving food to the person who gives you hate, you're basically feeding the hate towards you, and it's no need. The best part is just surrendering in that area. And I mean, surrendering is to be so vulnerable that nobody can touch you. And that's a topic that I also have that I want to speak to you about, being unshakable, being a magician. Being unshakable is when you're so vulnerable that nobody can touch you. You're so vulnerable, you're so sensitive that nobody really can hurt you because you're agreeing with them. You're accepting what they're saying, but it doesn't affect you because you're vulnerable for it. Your acceptance. It's like a water running off from a bird, from a goose. You understand what I mean? You talked, you talked about what we were not taught in school. Schooling system has not been improved since 1900s, basically because school is not about education, but manufacturing human robots, powering the system we live in now. Just my point of view on current system. Would like to know more about what you think about that. Wow. Yeah. Couldn't said it better myself. I completely agree with you. The system is not made for the system is not made for education. It's made to get employees. That's why us that are entrepreneurs that goes outside of the box and try and do something different, what happens to us is that we get neglected from the society. The society either thinks we're doing something bad or that we won't succeed or there is not many people that succeeding. And then the society is putting that limiting belief level on you, trying to make you fail. Isn't that how it works? But there is some people that keeps their head in the game with a liner focus, and that's you. That's why the only one who will succeed won't quit. Yeah, that's you, Dilan. That's you. I'm the only one around my friends who has a vision about freedom and business. And I feel like my friends are limiting me sometimes with all the negative energy. Should I start over? Some friends has been my friends since I learned to walk. So it feels so hard. You answered it. You answered it yourself, bro. Like Jimmy, that's the core part, bro. It's you said it yourself. Your friends that's been with you since you learned how to walk, they are all the same, but there's one fish in that herd that is different, and that's you. You want something else, but your friend standing is still in the same position. I want you to be in your mentality space right now. Think about your friends and just visualize where you think they will be in 5 years. If you want to be in that position, spend more time with them. If you don't, if you're not satisfied with that position, change your environment, change your mind, change your world. A change needs to happen. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be your friends, but people will come and go in your life. You can have a friend from the day that you're born until the day that you die if you guys want to have the same lifestyle. If you want to have the same lifestyle as that person, that's how it works. Okay, let me take this one as the last one. How to put myself in a state of mind where I do something without expecting a reward. This is funny. And I know girls are much better at this than us guys, but or most of you. And tell me if I'm wrong. Have you ever done something for your partner, for your brother, for another person, and you really did it for one reason, and you were so excited for that, whoever it is, right? For that person to come home because you just wanted to see them smile. You made food, or you bought something, or maybe just fixed at home, or you did something. And the only thing that you really, really wanted was that smile, that sense of, I made that person happy, you know? You know what I mean? And I think most of the women has a better heart when it comes to that thing. I just want to see you happy. I just want to see you smile for a sec, you know? But us guys, we're not driven by nature of your emotions. We're not as emotional driven. Meaning that for me, for us, not for me, but for a guy working every single day and whatever it is, or fixing the car, or some male fucking habits, you know, that is for us a thing that is, of course, you know, it's a normalized thing that we do. Why? Because it's normalized. You don't need to say thank you. You don't need to be happy for it. That's just something that it is my program. It's in my game. That's very normal for guys. It's like, but what? I'm doing all of these things. And then the girl says, but can't you I just don't want that. I just want some, you know, something extra. And that thing comes from us not understanding. But when a guy does something, 89% of the times is because we want something in return. Because that's the time where our creativity expands to do something different, to get something different. It's once again programming since we were kids. And the only thing to do is to break that habit and do things without the other person knowing about it. When you get happy doing something for somebody else without them knowing it, that's the core part to it. Me and Malu had like a small little game we did, you know, and she always win, you know, I lose every single time, you know, but she always, you know, did something so small that I wouldn't notice. And if I notice, we would laugh about it, you know? Like I hid a small little paper that I fold like 100 times, and I hid it in her suitcase, in her like traveling bag, right? Before she left. I hid that paper so deep she couldn't even find it, right? I don't want her to find it, right? But when she finds it, if she finds it, she will see it and think about it. Do you know what I mean? But I get as happy just placing that little paper note in there as it is if she writes it, because it's the same for me. Now your action is made from... Ingen, ja. And there. And now you're so happy because you did it from a space of from a space of your own love, right? You did it from a space of where what you wanted to do because of the action made you happy rather than the reaction. Women are better at this. They can, you know, like my mother, she can fold, she can do the dishes, she can do the washing, she can do all that things without getting any thank you at all. And it wouldn't really affect her. Until it becomes an argument, of course, then you get all of that in your face. But that's a later topic. But to get to that point, we guys, mainly we guys, have to practice giving without getting. It's true. We have to practice giving without getting. It's the same thing as how many here hates to trade on a demo account? How many of you hates to backtest? Like that's just boring. You'd rather trade with normal money. You'd rather trade with your own money, right? I was there. I am there very often. I don't like it because it doesn't gives me anything. You get my point? It doesn't gives me the money. It doesn't gives me the excitement. And that's the part. You have to practice giving without getting. And then your level of integrity will also increase. Guys, we're 5 minutes past. I hope you learned something from today's calls. And what can we take with us? Type in the chat, just quick, do a 2 minute. Just put it in 2 minutes. What do you think, what you learned from this session today? What are you bringing with you? What kind of note do you take with you? Stronger than the rest. You just push it to another level, Kim. I'm so fucking grateful for that. Other pay thousands of dollars for hearing something like that. Think about that, guys. Yeah, wow, bro. It's true, man. It's true. There is no failures. Control your limits. Don't limit yourself by trying. Yes. Give without taking. Give without getting. Yes. Being curious to cure everything. Nikki, my man. Yes. If I can give you something really to just remember, is to have the word curious. I have a tattoo that I will do with the word curious in it, because curious is really, for me, it's Kimi, you know. I'm curious about everything. I'm curious about the body, you know. I'm curious about the mind. I'm curious about you. I'm curious how far I can go. I'm curious about expansion levels. I'm just curious about learning a little bit about everything. And I think we should be a little bit more curious, like we were when you were a kid, you know. My mom, when I was traveling with my mom when I was a kid, she had a so hard trouble because I put my fingers in the wheel of the suitcase. I just want to touch and see if there is something in there. I pushed buttons that I was not supposed to push. I fucked up a lot of things because I was just curious to see what's inside of this, you know, what's on the other side. Can I go in here? What happens if I go here? You know, like a little Buddha running around, like, what is this? How's this working? What is this? You know? And that's the same thing now. I mean, I've been so curious. It can't be so hard to create an app, right? Can't be so hard to make a website. Can't be so hard to learn Tantra. Can't be so hard to do that. Can't be. So if you're just not that limiting and just a little bit more curious, and if something happens, you're like, fuck, didn't go so good. Next one. What's the part? Stop judging yourself. Stop taking everything so fucking serious. Don't use makeup tomorrow. Don't brush your hair. Brush? Is that how I say it? Yeah. Don't brush your hair, you know? Go out in sweatpants. Be a little bit nasty, you know? Be yourself. Be breathing. Guys, skip the perfume tomorrow. Don't fix your hair. Do something that you normally don't, which you feel insecure doing. For me, perfume is like my thing, you know. I love perfumes. I'm like addicted to buying perfumes. It's like every time I go to an airport, I'm like, don't look at it. Don't look at it. Like every time Levi's with me, we've been on like 7 airports or more. I bought a perfume in every single airport. Yeah, everywhere. It's like I love perfumes, right? So for me, forgetting, yeah, right? It's like, it's so fucking true. So for me, not using a perfume makes me insecure, right? I don't care that much about how I look, but my smell, I like my smell, you know? I like smelling good. That's a thing. So for me, not using perfume is like, it's me. I'm free today. So I want you to go out there with zero judgment and experience curiosity. Being curious to change your being, to be curious for other things. Okay, guys, try that out. Do you, before, for the rest who's here, do you remember what I asked you last Wednesday? I told you to do a quest. I challenged you to do something last week. Anybody remember what it was? What was it? What kind of meditation? Yeah. Walking meditation. Anybody tried it? I'm not going to ask about the visualization part because, you know, that's your private, if you did that hardcore, you know. How was the walking meditation? Try it every single day for 10 days. Try it every single day for 10 days. Walk-in meditation, you can YouTube walk-in meditation. It is when you walk so slow, like your feet are not even moving. Your quest while walking meditation, it's supposed to take as long time as possible for you to just lift up your feet. You're not even going to be able to see how slow it goes, right? And then go down, right? It takes so long time. Takes so long time. Okay, guys, try it out. And this week, please try it out to go out there with no judgment. Try something different, dress yourself different, be your natural you, and experience that in the unnatural world. Because a natural person in an unnatural world becomes weird. When you feel weird, you feel different. When you feel different, you attract different in every area of life. Guys, peace out. Much love. Take care. And ciao, ciao. Selassie to the fullest. Rastafari.